Hello students, hope all of you are doing well. I'm sure all of you have watched my previous video and hope you have understood reported speech really well. So now it's time to move on. Now let us move on to another very important grammatical component which is known as active and passive voice. Okay, in English there are two types of voices. One is active voice and one is passive voice. This is just an expression. This is just one way of saying a particular sentence. Okay, you may feel that voice means what? Is any particular person going to speak to you? No, it's not that. Voice means an expression. Any one of us says any sentence, it is either in active or passive voice. Okay, but as a grammatical component, as a student of English language, you need to know that what is active voice and how do I speak in active voice and what is passive voice and how do I express in passive voice. Please remember, if a sentence is spoken in active voice or if it is spoken in passive voice, the meaning doesn't change. This is very important. The meaning remains the same. Okay, now let us understand something more about this subject. Definition. As usual in English language, or rather in every language, every grammatical component has a definition. So what is the definition of a voice? Active voice means that a sentence has a subject that acts upon its verb. Passive voice means that a subject is a recipient of a verb's action. You may have learned that the passive voice is weak and incorrect, but it isn't that simple. When used correctly and in moderation, the passive voice is just fine. So what does this slide tell us? This slide tells us that there are two ways of speaking any sentence in English. The meaning would not change. It could be active or it could be passive. So what is it that differentiates between them? The structure. Okay. In active voice, subject is a very important aspect, and in passive voice, the object is a very important aspect. How? Let's learn. Okay, here we are. First of all, the functions. The passive voice is used to focus on the person or object that experiences an action rather than the person or object that performs the action. Extremely important. Okay, have a look at, just a moment. Okay, have a look at this. Performs the action. Whichever subject performs the action, you know, that itself becomes a very important aspect of your sentence. That is the basic difference. Okay. So in active voice, we have subject being very important, and in passive voice, we have object being very important. In active voice, we have subject being acted upon, and in passive voice, we have object being acted upon. Now you may get confused because these are all grammatical terms. So as we move on to say a few examples, everything will become really clear to you. Let's see how the construction is. How is it constructed? Very important. Let us see the construction of active voice first. Subject plus verb plus object. Subject means somebody who's doing something. So John plus verb eats, objects, pizza. Okay. So what does John eat? Okay, just a moment. Okay, we have moved ahead, no problem. Let us have a look at the construction of passive voice. Okay, if you recollect, okay, I just showed you the construction of active voice. If you recollect, the construction of passive voice is exactly opposite of active voice. I showed you the slide. It was saying that subject plus object, subject plus verb plus object. Now this is exactly the opposite. If you can see very clearly, object plus verb plus subject. Pizza is eaten by John. Okay, it's as simple as that. So the first sentence, the first slide, the first sentence said, John eats pizza. In passive voice, we say, pizza is eaten by John. In the first slide, suppose the sentence was saying that John ate pizza, past tense. Pizza was eaten by John. Suppose in the first slide there was future tense saying that John will eat pizza. In the second slide, in the passive voice, the construction will change to pizza will be eaten by John. So you can see that in the previous slide, John was the word which was in the beginning. In the next slide, John is the word which is coming at the end. So subject is going towards the end and pizza is going towards the beginning, whereas we know pizza is the object here. So subject taking object's place and object taking subject's place. That is what is the basic difference between active and passive voice. In active voice, subject is always in its place. For example, teacher is speaking. Teacher is the subject. What is the verb speaking? So if I am speaking, the one who is speaking, that word will always come in the beginning. Alright? So that is how the word was in the beginning. John was the word, it was the subject and it was in the beginning, in the previous slide of course. And now we can see that John is the subject, but it has come in place of pizza, meaning it has come in place of object. Another addition, if you can see clearly, the word by is added here. Okay, so pizza is eaten by John, pizza was eaten by John, etc. So that's the basic difference. You need to remember that. Okay, table of to be. This table is extremely important in active passive voice. Okay, it's very important. The table of to be. To be is a verb. Okay, it's a verb. Basically, a verb, I think in Hindi, it is known as kriya. Okay, whatever you do is known as verb. Whatever you undertake, any action you undertake is known as verb. There is a verb called to be in English. Okay, any action word like speak, watch, run, fall, sing, dance, be mischievous, etc. These are all different kinds of actions that we take. So one such action is to be. To be means to exist. Okay, to remain on this earth, show your identity, show your existence. So this verb to be is used in various formats in English. Okay, and it is very crucial for understanding active and passive voice. So you need to know this table. This table is extremely important. Okay, so during the previous video assignment which I did on reported speech, I told you only to do exercises. But during this video assignment, your homework is to draw this table. This is very important. I want this table to be in your book, in your classwork. It is known as the table of to be. So it is basically in present and past tense. We all know that English has three tenses: present, past and future. Okay, but this table, particularly what is being shown on your screen, is for present and past tense. So how the verb to be changes in present and past tense. Please have a look. Present tense is, the first column, and then you have simple past tense, etc. Okay, so you have I am, it becomes I was. You are, it becomes you were. He, she, it is, it becomes he, she, it were. We are, we were. You are, you were. They are, they were. Okay, that is the difference. So am, are, is, are. These are the forms of to be in present tense. And was, were, are the forms of to be in past tense. Very important. You may wonder that then to be, doesn't it have any future tense form? Of course it has. Have a look. Forms of to be in future tense: will plus be, shall plus be. We all know that we use will and shall only for the purpose of future tense. Okay. Any action that is going to take place in near future or in far future, we always use will or shall. Though will is used predominantly and shall is used in rare cases, Let's have a look. If to be form is to be used in future tense, how it will change. Have a look at the example. Jenny will write a note. A note will be written by Jenny. We shall learn a prayer each day. A prayer shall be learnt by us each day. So active voice is using will, which means future tense. Passive voice is using will be. Active voice shall, passive voice shall be. That's the only difference. Okay. So what do we have here? Changes in verb form. Okay. So what changes are we talking about? These are the changes that take place in a verb form when we are changing a sentence from active to passive. Verb forms. Each verb has four forms based on the tense of the sentence. V1, V2, V3, V4. Okay, this is something you already know. So V1 is eat, then it becomes ate, eaten, eating. Okay. If you want to take another example, let me give you example of the verb give. Give, gave, given and giving. Okay. Steal, stole, stolen and stealing. Now let's come back to this slide one more time. Have a look at the third sentence here. The tense active voice uses passive voice of that sentence uses verb form of to be plus V3 of the main verb. Now, please have a look at V3. You must never forget that passive voice uses V3. It is compulsory. V3 means this form. You will never see passive voice using V1, V2 or V4. It will predominantly use V3. Okay, this is very important. So what happens to V1, V2, V4? They also may be present, but they won't play the main role. They may play a subsidiary role. Okay, a role which is not really very important. Have a look at the example there. John eats pizza. It's simple present tense. Pizza is eaten by John. So what have we done? We have used in passive voice eaten, the V3. Okay. John eats pizza. Eats is V1. It is in simple present tense. Change to pizza is eaten by John. Now you may wonder that why is? Because it's in simple present tense. Okay, pizza is a singular noun. It's a third person singular noun. So you have to use is there. You cannot say that pizza were eaten by John, pizza are eaten by John. No. If I want to use are or were, it has to be pizzas. It has to be in plural, as simple as that. Let's have a look. How each tense will make a certain change as far as passive voice or active voice is concerned. Okay. So right now we have present continuous tense. Okay. In the previous slide, we had a look at simple present tense. Now in this slide, we are having a look at present continuous tense. Okay. So let's have a look. John is eating pizza. That means he has not finished it. The act is going on. So for any action that is going on is known as continuous. Okay, present continuous, it's printed as change, but it should be tense. Okay, never mind that. So we are in present continuous tense. John is eating pizza. Now how does the passive voice happen? Pizza comes in place of John. Is remains as it is because John is singular, masculine, and pizza is also singular, third person. So eating, okay, what happens to ing? Here, to be form is turning into being eaten by John. Okay, so V3 will be there. You cannot, escape from V3. You must know V3 of each verb. Whichever verb you know, you should know all the V1, V2, V3 and V4 forms obviously. But specifically for passive voice, V3 is a must. Okay. Active voice uses present continuous tense. Is being. You can see in active voice is eating, correct? So passive voice uses same tense plus continuous form of to be, which is being. Okay. So though it is written is being here, what is meant by is eating. Okay, that is another form of is being, of course. So in passive voice, you will use the same tense. Here it is eating, here it is being. Okay, tense will not change. Remember in reported speech, we used to change the tense. We used only past tense in reported speech, but not in active passive voice. Tense will remain same plus continuous form of to be. We have to use to be in each passive voice. To be form is compulsory. So because here we have eating, we will use to be as being. Okay. Pizza is being. Then we have the V3 eaten by John. Okay. So we have the V3 is eat and eaten, which follows is being. So first we will have pizza is being followed by eaten. So which tense we have covered here is present continuous tense. Okay. Previously we have done present simple present tense, present continuous. Now what we have here is present perfect. Something which is completed. The action is complete. That is known as present perfect. John has eaten pizza, meaning pizza is over. Pizza has been eaten by John. So first sentence active, second sentence passive. What are the rules? What did we follow? Active voice uses present perfect tense has eaten. You can see has eaten. So passive voice uses same tense, okay? Has eaten, it's there. Plus perfect form of to be, which is been. So here be becomes being. In previous slide we saw been to be became being, ing, because eating was there. Now here already has eaten is there, so it will go further and it will become be will become been because we are in perfect tense. Perfect tense always uses V3, eaten, been. Okay, there is never any other option. And as usual, the V3 of eat, eaten follows been. So we have pizza has been followed by eaten by Jean. Okay, you may be wondering why so many pizzas are there. This slideshow is completely full of pizzas. Okay, now we have simple past tense. So in present tense, we have completed three tenses. Simple present tense, present continuous tense and present perfect tense. Okay, now we are into past tense. Now in past tense we have first tense is simple past tense. So we will have V2. Simple past tense means V2. You can have a look. Ate. John ate pizza. Means maybe he had it in the morning or maybe he had it 2 days back. Okay, we don't know. It is past tense. Pizza was eaten by John. So active voice uses simple past tense, which is ate, means we do. Passive voice uses past tense of to be, which is was. This is very important and that is the reason I told you to have a look at the table. Okay, I told you that table becomes really crucial because that table has all these, all the details about how to be will change from present to perfect, etc. And as usual, the last line was V3 will take place, etc. We have already moved on now to the next slide. Past continuous tense. Again, here change word has come. I'm sorry about that. Past continuous tense. So what is happening over here? John was eating pizza. Remember, in present continuous tense, we had John is eating pizza. Now here what we have is John was eating pizza because it is past tense. Pizza was being eaten by John. So active voice uses past continuous tense, which means was being. So passive voice uses same tense. Have a look. Was eating, was being. Plus continuous form of to be, which is was being. And as usual, V3 of eat, eaten follows was being. So what happens here is pizza comes in the subject's place. Because it is in past tense, was will come as it is. It is not only in past tense, but it is in past continuous tense. But we cannot use eating over here because we have to use V3. So we use to be in the form of continuous, ing. Continuous means ing form. Okay. Sometimes you may feel that grammar is little difficult to understand, but I don't think you should panic about it. Okay. As I can see that my previous video was watched multiple times. So you can do that over here also. Till you understand, you can watch it repeatedly. There is no problem. It will be available. Past perfect tense. So just like present perfect tense, we also have past perfect tense. What happens in past perfect tense? John had eaten pizza. Now, in present perfect tense, we have has eaten. In past perfect tense, we have had eaten. So John had eaten pizza. Pizza had been eaten by John. Active voice uses past perfect tense. Had eaten. So passive voice uses same tense, had eaten, had been eaten, plus perfect form of to be, which is been. That we have already seen during present perfect tense. The perfect form of to be, meaning V3 of to be, is been. So here we have V3 of been also. Okay. So we have had as it is, we have V3 of been, and then we have V3 of eat, which is already present in active voice also. As usual, V3 of eat, eaten, follows been. So the sentence remains as pizza had been eaten by John. Okay. Which other tense we have? Simple future tense. Okay. So we had so far simple past tense, then we had simple present tense followed by simple past tense. Now we have simple future tense. Okay, future means will. We already know that. Will or shall. So what is the exercise? What is the example? John will eat pizza. Okay, we don't know whether tomorrow or after 2 days, after the lockdown, we don't know anything. Okay, John will eat pizza. Pizza will be eaten by John. Okay, active voice uses simple future tense, will eat. So passive voice uses future tense of to be. Okay. So after the table, I showed you once, one nameless slide actually, I mean titleless slide, which was about future tense. Okay. Will becomes will be and shall becomes shall be. So passive voice uses future tense of to be, which is will be. As usual, V3 of eat, which is eaten, follows will be. So you can see John will eat pizza. Pizza will be eaten by John. V3 is must. Please see the note. Very important. Okay, this note is very important. Future continuous and future perfect tense cannot be brought into active voice or passive voice. This is very important note. Okay. So you may say that during doing present tense, we did simple present tense, present continuous, and we also did present perfect. During past tense also, we did simple past tense, past continuous tense, and past perfect. So why is it that during future tense we are not doing say future continuous and future perfect? We are not doing it because future continuous and future perfect tense cannot be used. They cannot be brought into active passive voice kind of combination. It is not grammatically allowed. That is why I am not discussing it. Okay. Let's come back now to the new thing. So what do we have here? I have given you an exercise. It's very simple. You can see I have discussed 7 tenses. So I have given you 7 sentences. Okay, these are the 7 sentences and you have to change these sentences. Very important. Okay, so you will do that exercise. After that, like previous video assignment, you will also undergo this particular website. It is specifically for grammar exercises. This link contains some more exercises. Please practice them. Okay, it is really very important. You have to do these exercises whenever you get free time. Suppose you are currently busy with other stuff, exams are also coming close by, so you may not have time right now. Okay, that's okay. That doesn't matter. The exercise which I gave you, you must finish that exercise first. And whenever you think that you have some doubts or you have understood the topic really well, that is the time when you can visit this website and do some exercises on your own. Okay, test your knowledge, as they say. So that's about it. Let me just do a small recap. The recap is that there are two types of voices in English: active voice and passive voice. The sentence can be spoken in any voice if it is in the perfect tense. The only thing is that the meaning is not going to change. The meaning is not supposed to change. What is the highlight of passive voice is that when you bring the sentence from active voice to passive voice, you have to make some basic changes. The subject will go towards the end and object will come towards the beginning. The subject will be at the end of the sentence with the word by. There will be the word by used before the subject when it goes in the object's place in passive voice. Remember that. Passive voice does not change the tense of the sentence. You cannot change the tense. The tense will remain the same. Only thing changes is the verb to be. And of course, the main verb uses only V3. If the main verb is already in V3, we don't have to worry. We have to just bring to be into V3 and continue with the V3 of the main verb. There will be no change at all. Okay. Please remember that only few tenses can be brought into passive voice. For example, future continuous tense and future perfect tense cannot be used in passive voice. It is not allowed, so you need not worry about that. You may feel a little bit worried that if we are given active voice sentences and if we are asked to change them into passive voice, there can be mistakes. We may end up losing 2 or 4 marks. I don't think you should be worried at this stage. Okay. Most of the time in essay 1 or essay 2, whenever you have these questions, very few times they have come, voice questions have come for PT1, so you need not worry. But from the point of view of your semester exams or final exam, usually you are given a sentence and you are asked to find out which voice is used in that sentence. So suppose the sentence is given as John eats pizza. You have to write this sentence is in active voice. And suppose the sentence says pizza is being eaten by John or pizza is eaten by John, it becomes passive voice because you can see that the subject is at the end and by word is also used. These are the two highlights of passive voice. So it's very easy to find out. But if you have written your slate exam, you may remember, if you recall, there were changes of voice questions always there in slate exam. And obviously in 9th and 10th class, you will always get to change the voice. It's very important to know how to change the voice. Okay. So that's about it. Thank you for listening to me. Do the exercises. And before you do the exercises, do not forget to draw the table. Okay, it's really important. That drawing of the table is the key towards remembering what are the different ways in the verb to be can be changed as far as active and passive voice is concerned. Okay, there were some few typing errors in this slide, maybe because I prepared it in a hurry. So wherever the word change has come instead of tense, pardon me for that mistake. Okay, it is just a content mistake. You please read it as tense. And one slide went back quickly. I could not explain it, but I don't think that will create much of damage. Okay, so you do the exercises. Whatever your doubts are, you can let me know. I have received quite a few notes in Google Classroom. Okay, many of you have already put down your notes in Google Classroom. I'm very happy that very quickly You learned how to, upload your stuff there. You're really fast. So for this also, obviously, you have to do these exercises, draw the table, and upload your work as your homework or as your classwork in Google Classroom in your particular section itself. Okay, this video obviously is for both 7th and 8th class because both the classes have active and passive voice. So you have to do the work. All the classes need to do this work. Alright, so and whatever doubts you have, you can put your doubts under the video also. You can put the doubts in Google Classroom. Okay, avoid putting anything on the group or avoid putting anything on the personal WhatsApp. Okay, so all of you go through it thoroughly, understand it properly, and do your exercises. Okay, see you all.